All right, welcome to Déjà Vu, episode 2. Last week, if you tuned in, we did The Prestige versus The Illusionist with kind of a rout.
Kind of a rout. It's 14-1.
14-1. It was a tough showing.
It was like the fucking 2016 Warriors playing against Mary School for the Blind women's team.
This wasn't that bad. It wasn't like, have you seen that clip where it was, they're talking to, I think it was Gilbert Arenas, and they're like, what team did you play with? And he's like, Lebanon. He's like, you think you'd have a chance versus an NBA team? And he's like, we had a chance. Oh, you fucking didn't. But like,
well, Gilbert Arenas had a gun.
Yeah, he did have a gun.
If he had a gun.
To the Illusionist's credit, I feel like we all came away saying like it's way better than we thought it was, but we did think of it as like a punchline to the.
Yeah, for sure.
I still didn't recommend the movie.
Yeah,
but barely.
Yeah,
I did not recommend it. It was close.
And this week we are doing Dante's Peak versus Volcano, 2 movies that came out in 1997. I'll go through them one by one. First, give quick thoughts on it, starting with Dante's Peak. A volcanologist, great word. I love a good like botanist.
Yes.
Like job description where it just sounds cool. We have blogger and podcaster sucks. We need to think of like a Latin-based term.
Audiologist?
Like meteorologist. Meteorologist or something. Like I don't know. We need to think of a way better title for our job. Arrives at a countryside town recently named the second most desirable place to live in America and discovers that a nearby long dormant volcano may awaken at any moment, directed by Roger Donaldson, who did The Bounty, Sleeping Dogs, and The Bank Job, New Zealand director. Writer is Leslie Bohm, who did The Alamo and Daylight. Then stars Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton, Chris Hallahan, Grant Heslov. We talked about it a little bit after. We'll get more into him later because his career after this is very interesting. Composed by James Newton Howard, who did The Hunger Games, He did The Dark Knight with Zimmer, among many other things. Rated at 34% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.0 on Letterboxd. Made by Pacific Western Productions, distributed by Universal. Cost $150 million to make. Made $178 global. It was released February 7th. 1997. Starting out, just give quick thoughts. Start with you, Klemmer. What did you think on your rewatch of Dante's Peak?
Well, just a quick backstory on this. So when I just came out when I was a high school senior, and me and my buddy had never gone to Cooperstown before, and we went to Cooperstown for this weekend. This came out, and we weren't old enough to go into bars and stuff, so we just went to the mall and saw a movie that night, and we saw Dante's Peak. Mm-hmm. So this brought back a lot of like memories of that trip my buddy and I took to Cooperstown. I think I might have liked it a bit more than even when I saw it at that shopping mall in Oneonta, New York, back in 1997. So I came away enjoying it a tiny bit more than I remembered.
I think, and maybe it's just because I grew up watching, this is just on cable.
Constantly.
Oh, really? I hadn't seen it
constantly, and just kind of blows the 6-year-old's brain, at least mine. And I think I liked it a little less. I don't know, at least the dramatic parts, but I will say this thing aged looks-wise, very well.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah,
There's some scenes that we'll talk about in greater specifics, but there's some scenes I'm like, that could have been made today.
Yeah.
Like, visually, it looks better than a lot of disaster movies made today. It's crazy looking at it.
And it goes without saying, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
You want to talk about someone who still looks good and has aged very well, but good Lord, does he look good here.
This is pre-Bond. This is right before he did the... no, yes. I think this is the movie he made...
1 year after Goldeneye. His debut.
I thought it was 1 year before. 1 year. Okay, I apologize. I thought it was 1 year. Okay, so
95 was Goldeneye.
Okay, I apologize. So it's 1 year. So this is a movie he made after Goldeneye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So first, they're like, what do we do with James Bond next? Let's make him the hottest USGS employee.
So this is like peak Brosnan, right?
Yeah.
Like looks wise and like don't get me wrong, he still looks great today in black bag. He looks fantastic.
I know that's the thing. Yeah. He's like aged into like the really hottest 80-year-old. Like it's like the ideal look for like an 80-year-old man.
He was in a show in the 80s called Remington Steele, which was like James Bond light, and like he might have looked. That might have been peak. Brosnan's so handsome.
Is it Mr. Mom? Mr. Mom? Where he was the other guy?
No, Mr. Mom is Michael Keaton.
Doubtfire? Mrs. Doubtfire?
Mrs. Doubtfire. He was Sally Field's husband, yes. Or not husband, boyfriend that she wanted to. Yeah, yes.
I think I'm more in your camp, Klemmer. Like, I liked it more than I remember liking it.
Me too,
and I think I have a great appreciation for it. More so, again, just, we talk a lot about, I think at least on PBS and everything else like that, like, we love practical. And watching this movie, like how they shot it, how they put it together, the miniatures, the special effects, like shooting on location, which they did in Idaho, I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I'd. I remember watching it as a kid, like Gooch was saying, on TV 1,000 times. And interesting you mentioned Pierce Brosnan because Michael Douglas was originally the lead in this. Kurt Russell was also considered and backed out.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Sandra Bullock turned down the Linda Hamilton role.
To do Cruise Control.
Yeah.
Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Tough.
Which is...
Yeah. That's tough. That's really, really tough. And also reading more about it, like the director, Roger Donaldson, was a geology student before he became a director.
Oh.
So he was really interested in volcanoes already, which is kind of gets led into this a little bit. So I liked it a lot more than I remembered. And then it's going up against Volcano. A volcano erupts in downtown Los Angeles, and a city official and seismologist try to... Another great title, seismologist. It's fucking not what my wife can say. Let's try to stop an inevitable flow through the city. They're directed by Mick Jackson, who did The Bodyguard and L.A. Story, written by Jerome Armstrong. This is the only movie he ever wrote. And Billy Ray, who did The Hunger Games, Captain Phillips, Richard Jewell. Interesting filmography. Stars Tommy Lee Jones, Anne Heche, Don Cheadle, Gabby Hoffman. Gabby Hoffman, this, by the way, the cast in this movie is crazy. Like, you stop in a frame, you see 3 actors like they went on to be bigger stars. It's crazy. Keith David, John Carroll Lynch, among many others. Composed by Adam Silvestri, which I think you could tell almost immediately.
Yes.
He has such an iconic way of...
You hear those Back to the Future, like almost like those chimes a little bit, time to time.
Or like even Avengers, like you see bits of Avengers in the score. Its rating is actually higher, 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, 2.7, a little bit lower than on Letterboxd. 20th Century Fox movie, cost $90 million to make, made $122, released April 25th, 77 days apart. What did you think of Volcano on your rewatch or watch?
I like this one better.
You like Volcano better?
But like we'll get to the comparison between the two. But I did end up liking this one more, and I think it's because as a kid, this is like the flip side. Like the volcano stuff did not age very well for this movie, and it wasn't very good to begin with because it's like very slow moving. Like it's just comical, and we'll talk about it. But like the stuff outside of it, like all the character actors, the performances across the board are great and like riveting and really draw you in. So I did end up liking it more. It is a very stupid fucking movie.
Very dumb.
Very fucking stupid. Like Roland Emmerich would look like a Harvard grad.
Moonfall. Roland Emmerich
Yeah,
would
like
look
this is stupid. But yeah, also we solved racism.
We did solve racism within the scope of Volcano, which is that was right before, this is like, what, 5 years past Rodney King?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
And this is, you bring up Roland Emmerich, though. I think a big reason these got greenlit, though, was Independence Day came out, 96? Now, obviously, Independence Day, these were in production, but you could tell this disaster movie, like...
Twister.
We could put more money into
Twister came out 95?
Just before this,
5, 6, yeah.
Right, so you had kind of this, like, wave of disaster movies in the late 90s. Because you had them in the 70s, too, with Towering Inferno, Poseidon Adventure. Yeah. And you kind of saw this re-wave in the late 90s. It kind of, I guess, peaking or... with Armageddon, I guess was kind of like the last.
Yeah, that was kind of everything kind of went down after that, for sure.
But this was in the height of it, for sure. And when these movies came out, this was talked about, like them being twin movies. Like people like, can you believe we're getting 2 Volcano movies? It was a major, like among movie people, like in Entertainment Weekly, a Premiere magazine, this was talked about.
Well, is this the biggest in terms of like combined budget? And you know what I mean? Like
it might be Armageddon, Deep Impact.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. Money wise.
This is up there. These are 2 expensive movies for that time.
I was going to say 2 basically $100 million productions in 1997. That's
crazy.
What is that today? Like 250?
Probably
300 like that. Yeah.
What did you think of Volcano?
I liked it less, so we might have a little bit of at odds here.
It was going to be way better than the last episode where it was a blowout.
I think we might have a little battle here on our hands. I liked it. I'd never seen it before. I completely agree that you have these incredible actors, Tommy Lee Jones, Don Cheadle. I mean, John Carroll Lynch is like one of the better characters. I mean, look at his work in Zodiac. Like he's incredible. But unfortunately, the script is so weak, and the effects are nowhere near as good as they are in Dante's Peak. And the story of Dante's Peak, this story is all over the place. This is a mess. The script is just a complete train to the point where, like, why would Tommy Lee Jones agree to do this? So I walked away disappointed in Volcano.
Yeah, they actually offered Tommy Lee Jones' role to Ed Harris and Bill Pullman, which is kind of interesting, just seeing like the other people that would have.
Pullman would have been great here.
Pullman would have been perfect.
I'm kind of surprised. Like, why would Tommy Lee Jones was a bigger name at the time? Not by much, but he just won an Oscar.
It might have been like he was like the third guy they thought of going to, and Pullman was just off of Independence Day.
Maybe that they were worried he's too old too, because him and Anne Heche.
I was going to say this was very clearly written for a younger
guy. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Bill, very much so, or at least younger looking guy.
Yeah.
Not looking like a fucking catcher's mitt from 1960.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think his like next movie was playing Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
To be fair, one of those guys that really just like, he's ugly, but he's also a very handsome man. Like,
oh, there is. He has that right.
I'm with you guys. I think a little bit between you guys on Volcano. Like, I appreciate Volcano, I think, a little bit more than Dante's Peak, because they're kind of like different movies in a way, where in Dante's Peak, it's kind of traditional disaster movie where it's like, things happen, how do I escape? And then this is kind of different in that Volcano's like, how would a municipal city, like a city, respond and try to fight a disaster?
It's like a Godzilla almost.
Like they're not fighting it in Dante's Peak. Like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. How do we live? This isn't like, how do we live? It's like, how do we stop it? Which I think is interesting. Kind of looking at that response.
Fair. That is interesting. Also, the time element. So, like, this all takes place in a 24-hour period in Volcano, where Dante's Peak is telling more of a true story.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, and definitely a little more consolidated. But again, that cast, like, you'll turn around and you'll see like Jackie Aprile.
Yeah,
is like one of the guys.
I mean, right, and that's the guy who finished second, by the way, in Tony Soprano. Like, he was the runner-up. If Gandolfini's never born, that guy plays Tony Soprano.
Exactly, and like you'll turn and you'll see like Susie Essman from Curb Your Enthusiasm, the babysitter of Gabby Hoffman.
Right, she's not even in the credits. Like, that shows you how stacked this cast is.
It's insane looking at it in retrospect. Like, one of the dudes in The Wire, I saw, like, it's a nuts cast. But like last episode, we'll go through this in categories and we'll break down which one we award a point to, starting with the plot. Let's start with you, Gooch. What did you think? What do you think had the better plot between Volcano and Dante's Peak?
They're both not great plots for different reasons. Like, if you want to like sit here and like go attack it from a science angle, like which one is like more coherent is very clearly, I think, Dante's Peak. Like, no questions asked. But there's also stuff in Dante's Peak where it's like, why are we just harping on the fact that this is the second best small town with 20,000 people?
I like that.
It's a funny bit, but it's like we run it back 3 times. Everything with, I think, like the kids in both these movies is terrible. Oh, come on.
I don't think
Gabby Hoffman's not terrible.
She's terrible.
I think the other kids are horrible.
She starts the movie as a rebellious teenager who wants to get like her nose pierced. And the second the lava hits, she's clutching her fucking teddy bear, acting like she can't even jump over one little stream.
What would you do?
What?
I want to see you in lava, buddy.
I'd do better than that.
You be hugging Tommy Lee Jones too.
She reverts to like a 5-year-old child.
Oh, I think that's unfair. I'm throwing a flag. That's unfair. That's bullshit.
Insane.
That's not right.
You didn't like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt kid in Dante's Peak? I thought that was him.
Oh no, I didn't think it was him.
No, but the girl looked like she could be Linda Hamilton's daughter.
Yeah.
She looked just daughter looked just like her.
Yeah.
And like it's like very much like both these movies are like boomer male fantasy movies, and like there's obviously.
What would you do if this was you?
Yeah, it's like old man shows up on the scene, gets the girl, gets to step in and be the dad that stepped up. Oh man, and so I guess plot wise, man. You know what? I'm gonna zag here. I'm gonna go Volcano. I do like I like the response elements. I do love the Don Cheadle in the room. Like, I love the middle management. Like, we're just going to call different departments. I don't know why Tommy Lee Jones has this much authority, but it's fun to watch him just, like, boss people around.
And what was it, like, he just flew in from, like, St. Louis, and they act like he's, like, a fucking, like, country bumpkin from the hills?
Oh, yeah. Is that Midwestern work ethic or whatever?
Yeah. It's not Kansas. Yeah. St. Louis, which is like, why would you say the state? Like, why wouldn't you say Missouri?
One for Volcano.
Yeah, that's the story script. That's erroneous by Gooch. That's bullshit. He knows that he's full of shit there.
Neither of these movies had good scripts.
Okay, but
which one was I like more engaged by? Which one did I like really have more fun with? And I think that's
a whole different. We have that category for fun.
The entertainment value you need to factor into the 5th category.
This is simply the
pure
script.
Writing
the writing here. It tells a much more cohesive story. This story's all over the place.
But like, think about Volcano. Think about how it ends. When he picks up that little boy and he says, "Where is your mother?" And he looks around and that little boy says, "They all look the same. Everyone's faces are the same."
That's what I mean. Stuff like that. Like,
come on.
Like Dante's book, Dante's Peak is not a perfect movie by any stretch. But and you're right. Neither of these have like great stories. But like, it is a more. That's a story. You got this guy had the shit that happened to him in South America, and then he escapes that. You know, he loses his girlfriend, whatever. He goes to this town. The town you kind of learned about some of the figures in the town. I thought I did a pretty good job building everything up. I like the Linda Hamilton character. I like that she owned the store. She's the mayor of this small town. I appreciated that.
Did you like that she got to reconcile with her husband and her mother-in-law?
I kind of didn't hate that. I didn't. It's better than the racist cop.
Yeah, the racist
that's bullshit.
Plot sucked.
He said, "If I'm in your face, you'll know, bro."
Like that shit's horrible. Like so yes, I did like that more. Yes, I did, and I'm firmly saying Dante's Peak. And I think if you say otherwise, you're just lying to yourself.
I'm stuck between them because I agree with parts of what both of you are saying, right? Like Dante's Peak, I think the storyline being simplified is sort of better, but the romance B plot sucks. The kids suck.
Kids suck.
It happens so fast. He becomes those kids' stepfather
In like 2 seconds.
He saves that kid from jumping in the hot spring.
Yeah.
They're a happy family at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
That happens in like 4 days.
They went through a lot.
the biplot.
Oh, sorry, it's Anne Heche, who's like 30 years younger than Tommy Lee Jones. There's no way she wants to fuck him. There's no way.
They held off. They don't.
I don't think they don't fuck.
They
though.
don't.
Oh, you know that the second they got home that
It's
night.
left unsaid.
It's very obvious that there was the original script
so
was
much
very
stuff.
clearly like the original script was like they're gonna fuck.
Oh yeah.
And then Tommy they got Tommy.
How do we
like,
go away to this
can we
one?
do
Let's just have them hug.
Yeah.
Dante's Peak spent a lot of time on this romance B plot, which I don't think worked. I don't think they particularly had good chemistry on it either, Hamilton and Brosnan. But the simple escape stuff is very generic, but I like the volcano urban response. Like I like it's different to me and interesting, but I don't like the we solved racism through volcano. I don't think that works.
It's only like 5 minutes, so it's
It
like
is.
why is it there? But it's like why
shouldn't be
is it there?
Why is
It
it there?
shouldn't be. I don't know who thought of that, or like
I think maybe they felt because they had it because the LAPD they had
yeah.
because that time maybe they felt like they had to address it. No,
They
didn't.
addressed everything in those 5 minutes. They hit Rodney King. They hit
Like
the OJ
OJ,
trial.
like everything
They hit the
all at
LA
once.
riots. They did it all.
So I'm kind of stuck between them. I do think the actual story beats of Volcano are more interesting. And the dialogue, if you're going back and forth, like I'm trying to think of what parts I like the most. Like when John Carroll Lynch throws that kid or guy when he's melting in the volcano. That is probably my favorite individual scene between each movie. And I think that's really dramatic and well done. So I'm going to go with Volcano.
Oh, that's crazy. How about the scene when they're in the rowboat and the grandmother jumps out and gets her legs in that crazy acid water?
I was cheering.
That's crazy.
I was cheering.
This is wrong. I see where this is going. This is wrong.
You think your mother-in-law would do that for you?
I think she would.
Do you think Dave would do that for you?
Dave Portnoy?
Yeah, would do. You had
would
John
throw
Carroll
me-
Lynch. John Carroll Lynch wouldn't got his
John Carroll
employee.
Lynch.
No, Dave would throw me in the water.
That guy did that thing to John Carroll Lynch, or to Dave in the Super Bowl, where he dragged him out by his legs.
With dead legs.
Yeah. God, that's such a good clip. So now we have 2-1 for Volcano after plot and writing. Now we have acting, starting with you, Klemmer. Which movie do you think had better acting?
Yeah, better acting is clearly Volcano. See, I can be an unbiased person here, unlike you two clowns. No, the acting here is actually so good. It's like, why did they do this movie?
Yeah.
Like Don Cheadle is actually kind of fantastic in this movie.
Yeah. Really fucking good.
Really, legitimately, a really good performance without even doing. Trying too hard. It's just this casual way he has about him. He's also just a fantastic actor. Tommy Lee Jones is doing good for what's given to him, which is not much. Even Anne Heche, the moment after her
friend dies.
dies, she goes up and she just kind of sits against the fire truck. Is like, what the fuck just happened? And then that's good acting. I'm not saying the acting in Dante's Peak is bad. It's really not bad for a disaster.
It's not notable, you know.
For a disaster movie, though, it's not bad. I thought Linda Hamilton gave a nice performance. I think it's actually for a disaster movie, that genre, it's in the top half of acting movies.
Yeah.
Or in acting performances, rather, for those kind of movies. But the acting here is actually good. It's by far the best part of this movie.
I think we've talked about him a lot, but Don Cheadle, I don't need to see the movies again, man. He's such a good actor.
Dude, Marvel ruined
He's
him
just
having
stuck.
to do all this Marvel things. I think it just monopolizes your time.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot of time. I feel like he should be doing other stuff. Gooch, what do you think of acting?
I mean, yeah, this is very clearly Volcano, and it's not that Dante's, like Klemmer said, not that Dante's Peak has bad acting. I do think Linda Hamilton is kind of rough in this movie, but I think she's put in a bad spot.
Yeah.
She just does not match well against Pierce Brosnan. I don't think
That's fair.
I
I
don't-
think she did a good performance, though.
we were talking about chemistry this week with One Night Only. They don't really have chemistry at all. It's just not believable that they're fucking. It's less believable that Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton are fucking than it
Tommy
is
Lee
that
Jones
Tommy
and
Lee
Anne
Jones and Anne Heche. It really is. So yeah, I'm leaning acting here.
Yeah, I'm on there as well. I do think that part of these two different the ways that executions are different between these two movies. The Volcano is more of a human story. It's less about the volcano. And Dante's Peak is really a lot about the volcano. It's
Yeah.
I disagree.
I think it's a lot about how we need to show you big giant effects. We need to show you big giant things, and they look fantastic, 10 times better than they do a Volcano. But the human story in Volcano, I feel like, is way more interesting than the human story in Dante's Peak.
I couldn't disagree more. I think the human story in Dante's Peak is much more interesting. The story you guys mentioned, the story in Volcano is the response. But there's no real like relationship things that are happening in Volcano.
No, that's not what I mean. I don't mean
there's nothing like I don't really care about. I don't like the acting's good, but I don't really like care about if these characters live or die. Where I cared in Dante Speak if they did.
No, that's I guess what I mean is like it's more procedural is maybe the wrong word, but like how physically things would happen, like how human beings react to the situation to try and save lives, to try and stop it from happening, and that to me is more interesting. And they're given more to work with that than I think maybe Pierce Brosnan and all of them are given. And I don't know. I just gotta go Volcano. There's no bad performance in Volcano where like I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that guy sucked. He's bringing this thing down. Blah blah. Blah. Again, Volcano racism solving, not great scene, but those actors aren't like
the actors can't help out. They're just reading the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the acting in Volcano is actually top tier.
Yeah. So right now we have it's 5-1.
Oh.
Volcano.
Because you guys are lying to yourselves about the script, so that's fine.
So now we'll do technicals, which is cinematography, editing, lighting, color, sound, soundtrack, production, costumes, all the above. We'll start out with me this time. I think it's a runaway for Dante's Peak. I like the look of Dante's Peak a lot more. They shot on location in Idaho, looked great. The effects hold up remarkably well. I really like the score. I think the score is like perfect, like old school disaster soundtrack. And this is Newton Howard, not Silvestri. Really, really enjoyed it. Classic disaster stuff throughout it. The miniatures getting blown up when the actual volcano explodes looks fantastic. The chase scenes look good. The cars exploding. Like everything in this movie looks fantastic. It makes me miss when movies kind of used to look like this. One thing that did make me laugh, and I'm curious if you guys picked up on it, what happened. The bigger guy, Paul. Like his boss, Pierce Brosnan's like kind of boss.
Yeah.
When he died, they hit him with a Wilhelm scream.
Oh yeah,
which is so fucking funny. When he's falling off the broken bridge, it's so goddamn funny. But I do think it's a runaway, at least in my opinion, for Dante's Peak. But Gooch, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like Dante's Peak, and I think I agree, runaway here. Dante's Peak, though, is like right in that sweet spot that we hit there for about 15 years, where it's like the CGI hadn't quite gotten to where we were in the 2010s. Mm-hmm. And so the smart people didn't over-rely on it and combined it with those miniatures, combined it with practical, and it creates a like perfect blend that just ages so well. You see it with like Lord of the Rings, where it's like this great blend that ages very well. And then they do practical. If you read about the production on Volcano, they did a lot of practical stuff, like built a pretty much full city block.
Dude, it's one of the biggest.
The biggest set ever built or something?
Yeah, yes. On Wilshire Ave, that corner,
it just doesn't look as good.
But the movie's called Volcano, and the lava is made with what they used to make McDonald's milkshakes, and like made it glowing and oozing. They're standing right next to it, so like none of it feels tactile.
Yeah,
none of it really feels all that dangerous until they're like the rats are getting cooked, and then there's no real coherent science behind this lava. Is what I'm getting at, and that affects how it looks on screen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Volcano doesn't look great. Like the parts that are like human to human look fine, but it's a disaster movie. The disaster needs to look good.
When they're like moving the cars around and all that stuff, like I think that looks good when they're on street level, but like when they go to the subway, when they go to like some of the other things, I was really kind of taken out of it, except for the one subway scene, which I thought looked really good. But other than that, not for me. Klemmer.
Yeah, this is far and away Dante's Peak here. There's a scene, and so not the volcano, but before the volcano is that earthquake.
Yeah.
And you see an entire face of a building come down, and I'm like, that's one of the best action sequences I've seen like in like the 90s period. Like that's like right, like the volcano stuff was really good. That earthquake scene was about as good as you'll get in 90s action movies. I was shocked. I was really impressed by it. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised I didn't have more of a memory of this when I saw it the first time, because I was really, really impressed with those action sequences. Don't get me wrong, there's some stupid elements, like for instance, Pierce Brosnan's the tires on that car must be
so stupid.
Like they're on fire and they never go fly. What an amazing tire that is. But the way I thought the way Volcano looked was, you guys mentioned kind of that weird middle ground. And for Super Critics, Robbie and I are doing Spawn, which the CGI was such a mess. And you have different CGI studios working on it. So like ILM stuff was good, but then this other stuff was horrible. But like you could tell people just really didn't know what to do with this new tool, because Jurassic Park was incredible, right? That's like the first real like CGI where everything kind of worked. Like, and then T2, like those are the like shit, like look what they can do here, and Abyss to some extent. But with this, like I think this is such an interesting. This is why I like really doing this show with you guys. Is like it's really interesting to look back at this. It's like, all right, one guy kind of did it right, like you say, Gooch. Like, all right, let's kind of mix these two. Let's do mostly practical and then put in CGI when we need to. where you could tell it was almost like the opposite to some extent with Volcano, other than the set piece, that we'll share.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. And but I think just like the score on both is I think pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think the production design, obviously these cost $100 million, so I think both like are impressively made movies.
Yeah.
But for me, it's because of the effects. It's Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
But both movies, I think they look pretty good.
Yes, for sure. And it's one of those things where I think when we imagine going back and watching a 90s disaster movie, we're like, oh, well, maybe it's not going to look as good in retrospect versus some of the stuff we see now. But like, it honestly looks better because I do think maybe part of it, like you mentioned, the tactile feel. Like, disaster movies, you need to feel it. And I feel like big CGI explosion does nothing to my brain. Like,
nothing.
It just does not even register as actually
It's like white noise.
Yeah, but like seeing a miniature get fucking exploded, like it feels like something to me.
And like even like I know like the hotel owner kept referencing a sign.
Yeah.
Seeing that sign crash was like, oh shit, like that was a real sign that crashed in front of us. Like you said, that you feel something.
Yeah.
We've all been CGI'd, especially like kind of growing up or just watching movies the last 20 years. I think we've just been CGI'd to death where it doesn't mean anything to us.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it I think later too with some other disaster movies have kind of become over reliant on that for sure. Okay, so right now it is 5-4 in favor of Volcano. Now we can do directing. So again, the two directors in this one are for Dante's Peak. It was Roger Donaldson who did The Bounty, Sleeping Dogs, Bank Job. Great. I think he's considered one of New Zealand's best directors. Up against Mick Jackson who did The Bodyguard and LA Story for Volcano.
Couldn't be more different movies, by the way.
Could not be more separate.
Steve Martin and you got Whitney Houston and you got this. It's bizarre.
Very, very odd combo. So let's start out with you, Gooch. Which director do you think was better?
I'm going to go with my guy, Roger Donaldson. I do think this is Dante's Peak is the better directed movie. Mm-hmm. There are interesting things in Volcano, but like the way it's structured and the way it kind of cuts from storyline to storyline kind of gives you a bit of whiplash and sometimes takes you out of the action in a way that I don't really love for this type of movie. Whereas Dante's Peak is just a much... I guess since you're just with Pierce Brosnan pretty much the whole way through, just a much smoother ride, at least, as you experience it.
How about you, Klemmer?
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a taste issue, though. Like, it depends on how much you probably enjoy procedurals. Like, if you enjoy, like, I don't know, like CSI or those kind of things, you probably will enjoy Volcano more. I think both directors actually did a pretty decent job here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like... I completely agree with everything Gooch said, especially like kind of the whiplash mentality you get with Volcano. But it's hard almost like not to do that with all the different characters and different like
angles on
that's
the story.
Issue. Yeah. It's like, do we need to cut to the the Asian woman's like husband being like, oh, you're down there with the poor people? You should be working on tennis elbows.
Mm-hmm. You could tell like they didn't know what to do with John Corbett character. Another good actor, by the way.
Corbett, yeah.
Like and then like so they just kind of like he just vanishes halfway through the movie. Like this is a pointless character, so you feel kind of bad because that's not the director's fault. He's victim of the script at that point. Mm-hmm. And where Roger Donaldson, I think, did a nice job too here, but the effects and stuff. That's the effects people. I don't think either one did a great job, and neither one did bad. I would probably give like both like a B, but because of the cohesiveness and like you said, the lack of jumping around Gooch, I'm with you. Dante's Peak.
I'm kind of torn because I do think the directing on both, I agree with you, but the directing on both is very, very strong. I just think I prefer Volcano's approach.
Yeah.
And I do think that a lot of it has to do with the direction, and like you were saying before, you're approaching it from like all these different angles, from like disaster response to like humanitarian to like how the hospital responds to how like the subway employees are like it's like all these different angles that you're capturing and kind of getting almost like I don't want to say it's an anthology, but like you're getting all these different viewpoints, which I think is a lot more interesting than just very straight cutaway running away from Big Volcano. Like I like the production choices that he made way more, but I think the actual direction. Because you get, like you were saying, great performances out of all these people, and now it's not just the actors you can credit with that. You got to credit him too. I got to go with Volcano for this one. So that makes the score right now 6-6.
Oh God!
Volcano versus Dante's Peak. So now we have entertainment value, the last category. Starting with you, Klemmer. Which movie do you think was more entertaining?
Yeah, I actually like Dante's Peak. I'm going to recommend Dante's Peak. Like I think it's a movie I recommend. I like Dante's Peak even more than The Illusionist. If you want to go back an episode, like I liked, which is funny because I remember walking out of the theater. I said in Oneonta in 1997, being like, oh, that was okay. I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe I just appreciate the effects more now because I've just now experienced 30 years of CGI in my life, and like some of those pieces were really good, and I thought when Hamilton was fine, Pierce Brosnan was good, and I don't know, like that was pretty good. Volcano, I walked away just disappointed. You have this incredible cast, you have this great budget, and there's pieces there, but at times the movie just I didn't connect to it.
Weren't
enough.
like locked in on it.
So I was definitely more entertained by Dante's Peak. But I'll say this. I mean, we're going back and forth here. Neither of these are bad movies. Like you can argue the disaster genre might not be for you, but like Volcano is still an interesting movie, and I'm still glad I saw it.
So right now, 1 for Dante's Peak. Gooch?
These are probably equal movie-wise, but entertainment-wise, I will lean Volcano. Like, I really was, and maybe it's just because it's so stupid. Like, which one would I rather watch, like, with a group of friends? And I think that's kind of what these movies lend themselves to, is, like, late-night watching with another person, with a group of friends. Volcano is, like, I was having a really good time last night watching this movie. I really was. It's stupid. It's kind of incoherent. The Tommy Lee Jones relationship with Anesh is like, what the fuck is going on? But goddamn, was I having fun? Was I cheering when they got those fucking blockades up? Was I cheering?
It's tough. This is, I think, the closest category to me.
All comes down to you now.
Yeah, no, is the last point. It kind of this is like, I think of all the categories, probably the closest. But I would lean towards Dante's Peak.
Yes.
And I do
Take that, Gooch.
I do think part of it is it's just like more straightforward. As far as like, when I think of like entertainment movie, like what am I most entertained by? It needs to be like kind of simple, straightforward. I'm way more interested by Volcano, but I think I was more entertained by Dante's Peak because, again, the chase sequences, the running away, the actual volcano, the effects, like the towns blowing up, like all that stuff to me was way more entertaining. But it also took longer to get there. It was like halfway through the movie and all this shit.
It takes a while to get there.
Yeah, it takes a long time. And with Volcano, I feel like it's pretty quick. It's like within the first half hour, shit's happening.
Yeah, as opposed to like 50 minutes you're waiting around for Dante's Peak.
Yeah, but like once it gets rolling, I think you're just in a nonstop chase away, and that chase is extremely entertaining. So I'm pure entertainment value. I'll go Dante's Peak, but it's very, very close.
Where do you guys recommend these movies, or do you recommend either of these, or like to just general audience?
I think I'd recommend Dante's Peak pretty easily.
Yeah, that you definitely have to be in a certain mood for these.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, you have one movie you can watch this week, make sure it's Dante's Peak. I wouldn't be like that.
No, but like, on Letterboxd, I give a heart if it's thumbs up or thumbs down. If it's thumbs up, I give it a heart. Like, I give a heart to Dante's Peak. I wouldn't give one to Volcano, but it's close.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of dumb movies. Like, if you're looking for something fun and dumb to watch, like, yeah, these both would scratch that itch.
For sure.
That's fair.
Some of the questions I had for it, which I'm curious for you guys. If you swapped the casts, which movie would be better?
Whatever.
You swap let's add on to this actually. You swap the cast and director.
Like Dante's Peak's already the better movie with the weaker cast, so Dante's Peak.
But
wins.
you swap the director now.
That's fine. I think Mick Jackson, who I don't know if he's a great director, I think he did a fine job with Volcano. Mm-hmm. I think Dante's Peak then just becomes like so much better because now the townspeople are Don Cheadle and John Carroll Lynch and shit. Like, oh fuck, let's go.
Does it become better or worse though? Because I think a strength of Dante's Peak is that you're pretty laser focused on like two people really. You're kind of just like a little bit distracted by a couple of his coworkers, but like if you're on a lot of people you're working with here that you have to give screen time to, it might be a little bit worse.
I don't see a single cast. Maybe the better question for these movies, like, I don't know if there's a cast member I wouldn't replace. And I love Pierce Brosnan, but like Tommy Lee Jones is the cast of Volcano.
Tommy Lee Jones would have been great in Dante's Peak. It would have been great.
He would have been. Yeah, it's just I'm with you, Klemmer. Like these are good performances in the lead spots in both these movies, but how are these the people they settled on?
Yeah,
like
it's very strange.
It doesn't make sense.
Sandra Bullock would have been better.
Sandra Bullock would have been incredible.
She would have been better in either
Pullman
role.
And
Bill Pullman would have been much better
in Volcano would have been insane.
So I thought Pierce Brosnan was pretty good casting though for Dante's Peak, for what that is.
So for what were the other options again for him? It was Michael Douglas and Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell Hamilton options.
Kurt Russell would have been. Michael Douglas is the best actor of those three.
Yes,
but he's too like cerebral and too dark almost in a way.
I wouldn't have liked him as a fit there. I think Kurt
Russell would have been I think the ideal.
Fantastic fit in that movie. But yeah, I think I was picking between those two anyway. The other one would be if Volcano comes out first, which it came out second, is it more successful than Dante's Peak, which made more money? Do you think more people would think more fondly on Volcano and would have made more money?
I don't know. I feel like that's a question only Klemmer can answer.
You are the box office expert.
I was just around that time. I think it definitely hurt Volcano to come out second because just my own. I mean, this is just my experience, but like I went and saw Dante's Peak. Yes, I was bored in upstate New York, nothing to do, but like that felt different and new. Where I remember Volcano came out, and don't get me wrong, I was going to movies like I kind of felt like I've already been there, done that, and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So like I think a lot of audiences, I think it definitely hurt both movies to some extent that they were twin movies. where I feel like Prestige and Illusionist, we talked, it probably didn't hurt either movie. I think it hurt Illusionist in hindsight.
They were kind of operating in like different budget tiers, too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas these two are really in the same.
These were the two,
Yeah.
right? I think it did hurt Volcano.
Yeah.
I don't, it certainly didn't help.
And then lastly, why aren't disaster movies as prevalent anymore? Because like you mentioned, I wrote this down as well. Like from 95 to 2005, it feels like they were very prevalent. Like they were everywhere. But now it feels like we haven't had it. Like we had like Geostorm and Moonfall and like shit. Just shit.
Yeah.
Like they're not as prevalent anymore. And it feels like they don't try as much. And
That's just a fad thing. They were big in the 70s with Earthquake and Poseidon Adventure and Towering Inferno. And they went away for a while. And they came back with Independence Day and Twister and these movies, and then they went away for a while, and they'll come back.
It feels like they have. It's not like even necessarily for lack of trying. Like I feel like you could count like Don't Look Up if you wanted to. That's kind of an impending disaster.
You know, also another reason
Not
why
traditional,
we also have been overrun with superhero movies,
That too.
which also have kind of world-ending possibilities. Where like, once I bet 10 years from now you'll see a disaster movie boom. They just everything's cyclical.
Yeah. So that is.
Do you guys like this genre?
I do. I stand up for this genre.
I did for a long time. We're going to talk about another one of these. We're going to talk about like Armageddon versus Deep Impact eventually down the line because that is another twin movie within this genre.
For sure.
But there are other ones too, like Twister. I assume we all liked Twister.
Oh, I really like Twister. I really like Independence Day.
Yeah, I like Independence Day. Like The Day After Tomorrow, I like a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a few years later, but
that was like 2004 or something like that. Right? I think. But I liked a lot of those movies, like quite a bit. Roland Emmerich.
Did you guys watch the old ones in the 70s? Earthquake and Towering Inferno?
Poseidon Adventure and Towering Inferno, yes, not Earthquake.
No, Earthquake was Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting performance. But like, I kind of appreciate this genre, right?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. No, it's like
Get big name celebrities, like not so much Dante's Peak, but like you usually have a cast of like all stars. Yeah. You see them die in kind of crazy ways. It's kind of fun, no?
Yeah, it's like fast food cinema. Like it is.
Yes.
Like, but it's. I like fast food like a lot of the time.
That's kind of weird. San Andreas kind of was another like a nail in the coffin, maybe.
Oh yeah, it was
later.
That
Way
one
later.
stretch, like 2010 to 2014. It's like when it died because
Like
it was
2012.
Was it Day After Tomorrow?
2012, Day After Tomorrow was like 2004, I think, but like mid 2010s, like right around.
It kind of came back again.
Yes.
and then it went away.
They tried.
Some of them were hits.
It's how much does San Andreas make? Because I can't imagine.
I don't remember.
No, that can't have. 2012 might have been a
2012, I think,
minor
made
hit.
good money.
I think so too.
So budget for San Andreas was $110 million.
God damn.
It made 474 worldwide though.
Yeah, so it definitely had another little rise, and then it went away, and it'll come back.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a thing about San Andreas. I don't remember that at all.
Disaster movie 2012 grossed. How much do you guys think?
500 million. Whoa, 2012. John
Yeah,
Cusack still got
Jesus.
it.
This is crazy.
Well, still had it.
It's like $1 billion.
No, but it's not far off. $791 million.
That's fucking
insane.
good.
That's insane.
I don't remember anyone being like, "We gotta go see 20." Granted, it was capturing onto like the phase of everyone being, "Oh, world's gonna end."
But also, I think it's just like a fun, like you said, it's just fast food cinema. It's just a fun disaster movie.
Yeah.
You kind of know what you're going to get the second you sit down, and it's fun to see kind of these big name guys get swallowed up by whatever the
Do you remember Woody Harrelson in that? In
I
2012?
don't
It's very
remember
funny.
Woody Harrelson in that.
I don't either.
remember is
I
John
don't remember.
He's like a
Cusack.
hippie living in Yellowstone that's like preaching the world's gonna end, and then Yellowstone blows up and kills him. It was very funny in it.
They should try and do another lava movie. I was thinking that
it could be
last
very
night.
interesting. Like it is the scariest concept. Like,
I didn't think the lava moving slow was a bad thing.
No,
like
it's how
impending
they're
doom.
reacting to it. There's
That's
like
fair.
incoherent rules to how close you can be to the lava, which really kind of takes me out.
Absolutely
you know what I mean?
fair.
Like if some people are next to it and they just start melting and dying, and like animals are dying and it's burning through like 5 feet of
They
concrete.
told us it was 600 degrees.
Yeah, and then like someone like one of our main characters will go up next to it and just be fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, and I did like the acid lake. And
Oh
that
yeah,
was cool.
Yeah,
That was cool. That's a cool little add-on.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing what they could do with a volcano type movie today.
yeah.
My worry is what we talked about a lot here, which is it turning into a CGI fest, which is
I
just
know.
like this is all we got. Like, no, you can get a fucking smoke machine.
No, give me
You
the
can
volcano
get-
from the Northman.
dude. Give me
Give me that volcano.
Just blow some stuff up, make some miniatures. Like I feel like movie theaters really. I don't know if the miniatures are that expensive now because there's so many few people do it. But like, I think they underestimate how much we like miniatures.
Oh my God.
Like we, at least us anyway.
Or just
We all
real
like it.
set pieces like that. When
Yes.
that building collapsed in Dante's Peak, that storefront, that was a real building that collapsed. Like you
Yeah.
can tell it was a real thing. That's impressive to see.
Yeah. You just if you feel it way more. Next up, we're gonna be doing one of Klemmer's favorites.
Yes.
We're doing Observe and Report versus
Oh.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop. is the next one we have.
I have a lot to say about Observe and Report. A lot.
And we also booked ahead of time. This will be when you are out later.
Yes.
We will be doing With Fights, Olympus Has Fallen versus White House Down, which he is going to love that, I'm sure.
He loves both of those, right?
I would be shocked if he could pick a winner.
He's going to be at odds with himself.
Yeah, he's going to be like literally like tearing himself to pieces.
Yeah, I think the next episode will be my last one for a couple.
Yeah.
The baby, so.
But again, our final winner here between Volcano and Dante's
I'm
Peak.
glad I saw both these movies.
Me too. It was a great rewatch.
So far, like I was telling Kenjac, I'm like, I asked to push up the schedule for Paul Blart because I'm actually really enjoying doing this.
Yeah.
Going back and like you said, Gooch, shit last time. How often do we get to kind of revisit movies that aren't, rewatch?
Yeah.
Mid-tier movies where like, we
Yes.
wouldn't necessarily like Prestige. We would rewatch. Like,
Of
I feel like
course.
Illusionist, I would never rewatch.
I would never
This.
rewatch Dante's Peak.
I would never rewatch Dante's Peak. I'd never rewatch Volcano if we
No.
weren't doing this, which is fun. I think it's very fun.
It's very fun,
And-
and it's fun to like watching them too from the sake of like, oh, I'm comparing these two.
Yes.
It is fun to like look at it through that view.
Maybe we should make a rule where we have to watch it in the order of release. Does that make sense?
I'm fine with.
Does that help
Or is
our
that not
lens?
fair to the one that came out second?
Is that better for our lens of how we view it, the same way people viewed it at the time of release? Does
I
that
don't
make
know.
sense?
It
I don't
does.
know, we can think about
I
that.
guess it does. Yeah.
I did this one in order release.
I think I
did,
I did
yeah.
Volcano first on this one.
Oh.
I did Volcano first on this one. But yeah, and Dante Speaks on Prime, and I think you re-rented Volcano. But yeah, so the next one will be Observe and Report versus Paul Blart Mall Club, and the winner of this one is Dante Speak by a singular point. Shout out Pierce Brosnan, your first win on the board. You might have. I think he has another twin film. I'm thinking.
Does he really?
I think I gotta double check my source on that. But we will be back in 2 weeks with Observe and Report versus Paul Blart Mall Cop.